Yo, today is launch day of Crusadia. This day could not have come sooner. It feels like it's just taken forever for us to finally get to today. But I know you clicked on this video and you're thinking, man, from broke to corporate superstar to essentially burning my life savings to what I've built on social media, on YouTube for the last year, and on other platforms for about 2 years now. It's quite unbelievable when you start thinking, because the number one question I think we all like to ask ourselves, coming from someone that understands what it's like to try to figure out and be confused, you have a plethora of talent, but you have nowhere to put it, and you always ask yourself and other people, what should I do? And that's just the wrong question to ask. And I really wanted to showcase throughout this entire series. And by the way, if you're new here and you're just clicking on this, you can go back through the previous videos. Every single one will take you from when I was 14 years old and my grandfather passed, who's my hero. He's the man who made me who I am today. He was basically what started an extremely eclectic work history of me just trying, honestly, a life. You know, I'm saying, oh, I've lived the craziest life, bro, James Bond type shit. That's not what I'm saying. I've just tried a lot. By the way, if you're new here also, we tuck in like absolute gentlemen, because if we're gonna sing this one off on the day of launch day of Crusadia, you better damn believe we're gonna be tucked in. But I put this entire thing together, and the story started from my grandfather passed away when I was 14. And how honestly that put me into a loop where, because he was a hero of mine, basically my second father, but truthfully a hero of mine. And when you lose a father figure at that young of an age, I think a lot of people don't know where to look. You know, you start looking for answers because there's a huge piece missing. And what most people try to do in aim of loss, and it doesn't even have to be death, it could be a girl you loved, a competition you wanted to win. It could be anything, it could be in a sport. You know, I really wanted to win this competition, and guess what? I lost. And I wanted that, and I feel like it would have changed my entire life. And the biggest issue with this line of thinking is you're trying to get back to what was versus adapting to what is and being where your feet are at. You'll never be able to rekindle that same feeling for what it was. That's the beauty of the past. But it's meant to be burnt. You're meant to appreciate the past and look back at those moments as beautiful, genuinely beautiful, versus you trying to just cling on to it and try to recreate it. You don't try to recreate the past. That's why it's called the past. You don't live in the future, you live for it sometimes. I get that. You have a plan, you know exactly where you want to go, but you have to be where your feet are at. And it's about being present. Everyone's lost because there's just this plethora of information, and I wanted to go to explain that none of this shit makes sense if you watch this entire series. None of it makes sense. Not one time would you have looked at anything that I did from the moment I decided, you know something, I'm going to take a startup job, that when I had way better offers on the table with way more guarantees, I took a startup job that didn't end up panning out. I ended up trying another business model while I was going through college. The amount of things I have failed at, having a patent, going out to California and being told we're not going to do the deal. Having to go through all the discouragements with my family despite me not knowing what the hell I'm doing, and still just moving forward with myself every single day. Just trying to learn how to trust myself. Trying every single venture you probably can think of under the sun. It was because I knew I was capable of more, but you're trying to find the right answer, and there is no right answer. The only right answer is the one that gives you the most energy. I decided to quit. Completely hit the elevator down button, purposely self-sabotaged everything in my life. Growing up as the talented kid. Oh, we know you got something special, me not knowing what the hell that meant. But still having an ego like I accomplished something. What I didn't accomplish nothing. And then you start to realize that talent is everywhere. Everybody has talent, but having something to say and saying it in a way that makes people want to listen to you, that's the real squeeze. That's the real juice of the lemon you're trying to squeeze out of. And there's really nothing I can quite explain to you that can express my gratitude for everything that has happened. My entire life story, me getting up until now with social media. And when I started, I will tell you, hitting that post button for the first time in my life was way scarier than me doing things that on paper you look at and be like, that is objectively way more terrifying and way more risky than hitting a share button. But I grew up in a small town. You don't post yourself on the internet. They'll look at you and be like, hey, we trying to be famous? You trying to be famous? You ain't gonna be famous. This is shit you get told. You know, it's like, no, I'm not trying to be famous, but I feel like, you know, social media online, like there's a ton of opportunity. And I picked it as a result of me being forced to be honest with myself. I didn't pick content because I thought it was a wonderful opportunity, truth be told. That was a part of my decision-making process of being, I'm gonna do this. Because in my head, I'm like, yeah, I think it's only gonna move more towards online. That was logical. But what really made me do it was, how can you actually help people? When I stopped trying to chase all of these things like, oh, what's the next hustle? And what's this? Oh, I heard this opportunity, there's not that big of a market. You can win that way. I'm not here to tell you can't, but that doesn't work for me. It never has. I could never operate like anybody else. Everything I did, it had to be right by my heart. I had to go to bed at night knowing, you know something, although I expended all of my energy. As I record this video for you right now, I am on minimal sleep. I've been traveling, not like, oh, I'm going to these places and stuff. I'm here with my family, and I'm here with my family where my story began, and that's in Lebanon. My grandfather, the one that was my hero that passed away at 14, this is where our entire lineage started, from both my father's side and my mother's side. And with Crusadia, the story starts where it all began. There was a part of me instinct-wise was like, this is not the right time. You have too much going on to be going to Lebanon with, you know, everything that's happening. And I didn't care. I just trusted my instincts. And it told me I needed to be here during the launch of Crusadia. And it's because I realized for me, and I'll tell you, when I was in Turkey, and if you guys are new here, I was in Turkey for quite a bit of time, it ignited the nationalism in me. And I realized there's just not that much nationalism in today's world, where people really are proud about who they are and where they come from. It's almost like everyone's just kind of doing their thing, but one thing I do realize is you have to be where your feet are at. The world is shifting, and it's shifting more towards an online type of space where people are going to be more so online, and there's a beauty to that. Versus everyone being like, it's ruined society. I disagree. I think it's revealed people. I think it reveals people's actual colors, who they actually are, what they find cool, what they find fascinating, what they put out that they think is inherently cool, because you're not going to put out anything that you don't identify with or find cool. That's the truth of it. Or aligned with yourself. And it's taken me so long to just be unapologetically me. And that takes a long time to get to, but one thing I can say is it's as a result of me trying so many things, failing, and continuously moving forward. My story isn't meant to show you, oh, look how special I am. It's the opposite. I am like every single person watching this. I am no different in terms of my makeup and what I'm capable of. Where I'm different is in the way where I am stubborn to a fault. I knew that there was a better way of doing all of this. Life itself. And I used to think life in terms of what I just said meant, oh yeah, bro, I get to just chill and do whatever. That's what I thought, like there's a better life out there. It's the opposite. It's living for the mission above your own well-being and for others. I've lived my life doing all of this isolated, completely isolated. I started my page with 0 followers, just shy of a couple years ago. I'm at 290,000 followers, I believe, as of today on Instagram. I think 45,000 subscribers on YouTube from a year of posting. TikTok, I don't know. I post on there, but just, you know, it is what it is. It's TikTok, to be honest. Like, whatever. And I'll tell you with 100% certainty, if it wasn't for the life I've lived, there's no way I would have been able to share some of the insights that people look at me like I'm crazy about. And you know the one thing that I always did despite it all, despite every single portion of the story that I told, even through the social media, which that's more obvious, but I was always working out and training because it was the only thing I ever did for myself. Everything my entire life felt like I was doing everything for everybody else, out of a need to be liked, to not harm people's senses, to people please. That's how I grew up. Oh, you should listen to this person because they love you. And people forget this, and this is where this is the fine line. But just because someone looks at you and loves you, doesn't mean that your love needs to be reciprocated by doing what they want. That's not love. And you need to make it a point for yourself, especially if you're in that boat right now, to make it clear to your parents, I love you with all my heart. Or whoever in your life is causing this pressure, I love you with all my heart. But love is not me doing what you think I should be doing, because that's none of your damn business. And if you're younger, living under your parents' roof, then you have to follow the rules. And if you don't want to follow those rules, then guess what? That's when you have to unfortunately go out on your own. But this whole mass prescription of people saying, move out at 18, and do X, Y, and Z to become a man. This is the problem. These mass prescriptions of people telling you how to live your life is the problem. But you need to find people that you identify with, that have gone through the same problems you've gone through, and live a life the way you want to live it. Otherwise, it's bullshit. Complete bullshit. There's no reason for it. I posted on social media from 0 followers, and truth be told, I found a couple people that knew what they were doing, and they helped me along the way. But at the end of the day, it's your playbook. I'm going to do what's best for me. But to have those insights was so invaluable. And I still had to go through it a little bit more isolated than I honestly wanted to be. But along the way of social media postings the last couple years, I realized what's missing is like actual one for the people, all for one, and one for all. And to be honest with you, you even see the world now in the way it's run, if you get my drift. And in my head, it's like, why can't we do that ourselves? Why can't we remove ourselves from the system and have a place for just us, people that really do care a lot about the well-being of others? They don't want to allocate all of this money and influence for the sake of enslaving people, essentially, or trying to further their gain and worsen others. Because there's a way of mitigating all of these parties. And it's by finding these like-minded individuals of people that do want to do something special. They want to have it all. They want to be elite in all of these areas. They want to be in phenomenal shape. They want to have a mind that is truthfully iron, impenetrable, unbreakable. Have a character that is undeniable, one that is just compelling and magnetic to people. It's charming, it's charismatic. By your presence being around and your character, you make people better. Financially, being equipped to where, guess what? You don't have to be locationally dependent anymore on a job of being somewhere. Having a place where you can actually learn how to, you want to know something? Maybe if we all had a business inside of Crusadia, and I need someone to help me out with sales. Let's say I'm person A, and it's like, I need closers for this business that I have. And we have a guy who does closing for a living. You hire within your nation. We buy local, but you buy locally from your friends in the online space that you may have never met. But guess what? That's the beauty of the online space. I have met people online, I swear to you, that feel like in my head, I'm like, where the hell has this dude been my whole life? Where are my dogs been my whole life? Group of cats just ready to get after it. Good people, family-oriented people, genuinely want to make the world a better place, want to just raise beautiful kids in a beautiful family, want to further their world influence, want to live a life of freedom where I'm not being told what to do. Rather, it's working together versus for one another. But you want to work for the other person because it's not working for them in terms of a job of I'm the boss and you're here. Opposite. It's togetherness. It's cohesiveness. It's collaboration at its finest. You get all these high-level people, all of them business owners that know how to do what they're doing, that aren't confined to a local environment anymore, learning how to lean in on one another for the first time in their damn life because they have the opportunity. Because guess what? The internet's global. You're no longer confined to your local environment. I've been hanging around people my entire life, and this is the truth of it. Because what am I going to do? Be by myself? Be bored? Be a recluse? I'll hang out with people. I've had a ridiculous amount of friend groups growing up. Just literally trying to find my tribe outside of my family. Because I was the youngest in my family by a lot of years. And so my entire life has been honestly trying to find a group of just dudes that are about it. They want all of these things where it's like, hey, like I really want to do something special, but I also like to laugh. I don't want to take myself too seriously, but I also take the things in my life very seriously. And when you start realizing there's an enlightenment phase where you realize everything's a fine line and it sounds contradictory. But this is when life starts getting so fun, and the amount of people I've met along the way, and I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. I've had this plan somewhat set up for the last few months, all as a result of me not being able to access Discord in Turkey because it was banned. And so it forced me to think outside the box. And I thought to myself, why not start a country with people that have the same exact creed internally? They have that thing internally where we see things eye to eye. The entire council of Crusadia that I've developed are all from different countries. It wasn't mapped out that way. Everyone has a different heritage. You know what's crazy? We're all extremely similar, and we see things from the same exact perspective. Do you understand how valuable that is? Because we all know where we're going. We all have a similar mission. Our culture is going to be predicated on genuine contribution with impact. I want each other to lean on one another because it's not just you're a good person, which I know that the people on my page essentially are. You can't be without these things. You can't identify with the things I'm talking about unless you just inherently have a thing where you just care more than you should. And I see so many people go out on the other side. You know what they do? I don't give a fuck. I don't care about nothing. I don't care. And it's because they got their heart broken, and instead of them learning how to care correctly, care in a way that actually, in a way and in a direction that's actually going to fruit some labor, they go the opposite route and they get rid of that gift. People don't understand a gift is a weapon. And if you aim it incorrectly, you're going to hurt yourself, and it's going to hurt you a lot, and you're going to wear your heart on your sleeve, and it's going to get absolutely snapped. But if you have everyone that has that just inherent kindness to them in one place, that genuinely care for one another, sharper than basically most people you're ever going to meet, the genuine outliers of society, that modern society has failed. It's about damn time. It's about damn time someone got all of these special characters into one room. Watch what happens. I've said this once, what we're going to do with this is literally just the beginning. And I'm saying this right now because I can't wait to play back this video years from now, talk about launch date and where we want to go, and it's like, this was even bigger than I expected. Because the foundation of all of us will be fitness. Because that is how you allow everything to come downhill. The promotions I got were as a result of me being in phenomenal shape. Yes, I know how to carry myself. Yes, I know how to articulate myself. Yes, I have respect. I show up. I work hard. All important. Being in phenomenal shape amplifies all of those by 10x, and that is not an exaggeration in today's world. But there's also an issue where I see people hang on to their health too much. And if you are in great shape, you're ahead of 95% of people. Truthfully, it's only going to get more so that way. But what the hell are you doing with that health? You got to stop resting on your laurels, thinking it's enough. It's not enough. And it's not in a way where you can't ever be satisfied, but there is so much there, and there's no reason to settle. In this life, all you have is one. That's when your real life starts. I got one life. I got one shot at this. One. I'll be damned if I leave anything. If I leave anything on the table, I'm going to give everything I got. That's why right now, yeah, am I in short sleep? For sure. But you want to know something? It feels so damn good. And I'm not a guy who's like, yeah, I don't sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. It has nothing to do with that. But there's a time and place for everything. And the mission becomes and is before everybody and anything else. And the mission is God coded. It's God bestowed. It's been bestowed upon God. And when you have that, especially with people in the group that feel that way, this is my responsibility to God, into this world. And guess what? I'm detached. I'm not attached to any of this stuff. It's gorgeous, and I'm so thankful that I'm here. And I've gotten this far in my life. But you are sorely mistaken if you believe I've even scratched the surface on what I'm capable of. And that's the point. I've watched a few people pass away that mean a lot to me in my life. And one thing I can say is the ones I had regret for and the ones I didn't were ones that's like, I wish I would have done more in this person's life. I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z. And I know that my grandparents, for example, the difference between my grandfather passing away to 14 years later, when it first happened, I was 14, and 14 years later, my grandmother passing away, the difference in feeling was I was at peace with my grandmother passing. I knew where she was going. She's going to heaven and Allah Rad, but I did right by her. And you can't fake that feeling. I stayed purposely a lot longer than I wanted to in the hometown. I put everything to rest. Even like previous ghosts that had power over me, like dragons I had to slay. And I did it despite all of the relationships that have gotten severed as a result of me moving forward with this in my life. And I didn't do it on purpose. It just happens when you know you're going that way and your entire life you've been pulled this way. And finally you're like, I'm done being pulled this way. And if I have to walk alone, I will walk alone because I refuse to make any more decisions from weakness. And that is exactly what you saw with social media from the beginning. I didn't shortcut anything that I was accustomed to doing my entire life, trying to find the easy way out. I did it the long, strenuous way, and as funny as it sounds, it happened quicker than I ever expected. And it happened quicker than anything else in my life. By surrendering to the process and understanding I'm going to do right by God and I'm going to do this correctly. Because easy come, easy go. I know if I got wiped out back down to zero tomorrow, I will wake up tomorrow and it'll be a brand new day. And I got me. I got me and I got God. As long as I'm physically able, my mind is working the way it's supposed to, there is nothing on God's green earth that could happen to me and me thinking my life is over. I got too much going for me. I have too many good people in my life. And what's amazing about this is when I talked about buying local financially, when I was talking about financially, and everyone's starting their own businesses, I want people to buy from one another for that reason. I want you guys to leverage what I've built and had to build by myself in a way where, guess what, you don't have to start from zero anymore. You don't know anybody, there's no one that can help you. You don't have a way to actually, let's say you did have a product that you thought was incredible. You have no way of getting that out to people. Now you have Crusadia to talk to about that. But guess what? We have our own standard of excellence. And eventually we're gonna have Crusadia approved businesses that are listed inside the group itself, and they have to be vetted by me and the head table and the council. Because we're not gonna allow our standard to go down just because, hey, I started a business, you should list me. No, we have a standard of excellence. That is what the land is for. That is what Crusadia is for. It's a land of excellence with heart, with care, because that is what excellence is. You can't reach excellence without caring. Having the best products on earth, the best services, people that want to come in eventually and be like, hey, I'm starting from scratch and this is what I want to do. Us having an actual way from you to go from beginner to everything. My entire life, I went from nothing to something with ease, but something to everything. This is what you're witnessing. And instead of me doing it alone, being, look what I've done, I want to do it with all of you. And the special people that I've come across, man, I've bled for this. I've tried so many things in my life for this, literally to find this feeling. I will die for Crusadia. When I say that, I don't think people actually understand it. I'm willing to put myself in harm's way for whatever I need to do to make this successful. Even if that requires me removing myself from Crusadia in the future, that's how much this means to me. You have to understand, I cannot fail at this because this is me. I snapped. The moment I hit that share button on social media, I snapped. It was out of fear of embarrassing myself, but eventually it became because it was the thing in my head. It was like, I am doing what I am meant to do. It's not, oh, I'm meant to make videos. I'm meant to impact in a way that is true to myself. And that's true actual improvement of yourself over time, progressing 1% better every single day. Watch what's gonna happen. I've never been more sharp, on the ball, and more exhausted as of today in my entire life. And I'm so thankful. In a weird way, this video isn't to tell you, oh, you need to sign up to Crusadia. It's to talk to the right person. Because this is not for everybody. This is not for the person looking for another info product. Or looking for, oh, this piece of knowledge, this mechanism that's going to take you from A to B. Those are tactics alongside the mission. There's always tactics to employ. It's like when people talk about, oh, what about this exercise is 1% better, buddy. Work on getting the thing right, which is learning how to train extremely hard and eating properly. Then the micro optimizations start to matter. Then these different, oh, you want to know something? Try 93.7 ground beef instead of the 85.15 if you're looking to cut down. Hey, listen, you really want to tighten this part of your sales process and of your business because now it matters. Now you're at X amount of dollars a month and now we want to make this little micro optimization change that's going to make the world of a difference. Versus you trying to figure that out when you haven't gotten a dollar in the door. Learning, hey, how do I get charismatic and stuff when you haven't even had a conversation with a stranger in years? You get what I'm saying? The articulations start coming afterwards, but you got to play in the game first. It's about accountability to one another, and that's why we have this group that everyone's going to be involved in. If you're not involved, you will be kicked. And it's because I'm not looking for bystanders. There might be some people it's like, hey, I just honestly enjoy watching this, in which case you can reach out to me. I'm not a dictator. It's not even mine solely. I'm just the one creating the pieces to make it easy for you to walk through and be like, hey, I want you guys to build this out. That's what's gonna make this so different is you guys are gonna build this country brick by brick with me. You have to tell me what you don't like, what you do like, what we need to be better at. It's on each other to hold each other accountable through every step of the way in every walk of life. We even have fathers in the group with wonderful marriages and kids and learning how to raise proper kids. This is a country. It's not my job to tell you what success is for you in your life. But it is my job to institute every resource, network, and anything you would need at your disposal to make you successful the way you see fit. You are inherently different. You don't want to be told what to do. You want to be told, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. And honestly, I would like to shortcut that process by learning things that I'm eventually going to learn the hard way, but I might as well learn now to circumvent the time that it's going to take for me to learn these lessons. That's the point. We got one life. You're gonna have to learn your own hard lessons on your own. I promise you that. But to take lessons from the previous generation and move it forward, this is how we progress. And we're gonna be the first of our kind, and other people are gonna try to emulate and copycat us. You wanna know why? Because it's going to be compelling. And you wanna know why it's not gonna work for them? It's gonna lack heart. That's the difference. And I cannot wait to have you inside Crusadia. Because if this spoke to any part of you, if this blibber babble, and you're sitting there like, I don't know, then this isn't for you. If you know it in your heart and you feel that element of fear, it's that little feeling in your stomach, it's excitement, it's anxiousness, it's all of it. It's mixed emotion in the best possible way. Stop flinching. Stop with the whole, I don't know if I can do it. This is what I'm creating. Your habits are gonna change because every day you're gonna be confirmed. You know something, I need to be doing more, I need to be doing more. And you start removing yourself from the equation. This life is so beautiful, but not because you live a life of consumption. It's the opposite. It's producing for others in a way that makes you feel full at night. You gotta stop flinching. You have to stop second guessing yourself and saying, you know something, I'm gonna take a bet. That is why people look at me, and people that know what I'm capable of and what I've done for them with coaching, they look at me and they're like, you're nuts for doing this at this low cost point. Because I'm telling you right now, you're worth 10x this price, and honestly, I'm even underdoing it. And it makes me feel so good to hear that, but you don't have an excuse. You have no excuse. That's why I priced it the way I did, because it just measures seriousness. That's all it's gonna do. It's gonna measure how serious you are about this. And I genuinely cannot wait to have you guys inside. And I can't wait for us to look back at this video 3 years from now, and even I'm gonna critique it. Even the way I was speaking, you should have done this better. You should have articulated yourself better here. But in a way where it's like, this is history, and that's what we're here to create. So to my fellow outliers that are out there that have been watching this, it's time to pull the trigger on ourselves. That's it. That's all this is for. This is for us. One for all and all for one. And I really love you guys that have been here for a while. You guys changed my life. In the best way possible, this is the best way I can say thank you. I've been stressed, trying to think about how I can make this as perfect as possible. You know something, I'm thankful for that, because that means I give a shit. Besides mechanisms. We don't need mechanisms. The best way of becoming the person you want to be is by simply becoming that guy. And that's to empty the energy clip every single day and give everything you got to your life. Because you do that every single day, and at the end of your life, you're going to be like, man, I'm proud. I hit this grave ready. I love you guys. But anyways, that's the end of the series, and if you didn't watch it, I highly recommend you go through, the Crusadia Origins playlist and watch it from the beginning. But how I got here was just, finally I snapped, and everything turned out better than I could have ever expected. And it was when I had no options, funny enough, with $0. I made the best decision of my life. It's funny how that works. But I can't wait to see you inside. I can't wait to see what we build, and the fact that you're building this with me from ground zero. On June 22nd, Crusadia launch day 2025. I love you guys. From Uncle Rami to the Natural Crusaders, from where it all began for me and my lineage, and where our story begins. I can't wait to see you inside. I love you guys. Uncle Rami out. Peace!